Young Kansas City Chiefs fan is smeared by the leftist media as a racist for wearing a headdress, but they're quiet about Beyonce wearing a blonde wig and posting photos with much lighter skin. We're going to talk about it. Also, Sonny Hostin of The View is back at it once again, talking reckless. This time about the Hamas attack on hostages. We're going to talk about that. Next, we're moving to NYC, New York City, going in on their illegal immigration crisis and how it can actually affect and impact the country. And a group of feminists blame promiscuity on slavery. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Also, smash and grabs and youth violence are on the rise in cities across the country. Why? We have answers for you. And then lastly, propaganda is codified within the system in New York City and California in the education system. We're going to bring you all that and more next. Hello. It is Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are live with the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, we have Crystal. Hey. We have T. Hello. And Shelly E.
Gobble, gobble.
All right. Yes. Gobble, gobble. So join the conversation by leaving a comment on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. Subscribe to our social media so you always know when we post new content. If you miss us on YouTube, you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are an independent media, and each time you subscribe or support, it does make our voice that much stronger. We certainly appreciate it. You can donate to us on our website. Also, we love our super chatters, so you can also donate throughout this broadcast. And again, on the website, you go to www.popandpoliticslive.com for up-to-date information. Again, we are a necessary voice in news and entertainment. All right, ladies, let's set it off.
Let's go.
Yes, indeed. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we're just going to get right into it. I think we did a broadcast on Thanksgiving, right, ladies?
Yeah, we did. It was fun.
Yes, it was. It was so much fun.
Hi, everybody.
How about Andrew Tate?
Hi, ladies. How everybody?
He would have wanted you to be cooking.
Yeah. All right.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah. All right. All right, so we're going to get right into it. As I talked about at the top of the show, we're talking about the Kansas City Chief young fan who was smeared and has been just dragged all throughout media, leftist media, as a racist for wearing a headdress. So this occurred on Monday. The left-wing publication Deadspin alleged that the football fan identified as Holden Armenta found a way to hate Black people and the Native Americans at the same time. This is what Deadspin said. The headline, as you can see, urged the NFL to publicly condemn the boy for insulting African Americans with what they call, quote, blackface and, quote, Native Americans by wearing the traditional tribal headdress. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I mean, and then I want us to kind of compare this to, of course, Beyonce's debut of her Renaissance premiere. Starting with you, Shelly. I mean, were you offended by this headdress? Is that actually blackface?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was blackface. He had black paint, half red and half black. But look, to me, this is the classic, what's good for me is not good for thee. In this case, maybe Beyonce and her quote unquote cultural appropriation, Black people saying what white people can and can't do when they do the same thing. I don't have a problem. I don't care what Beyonce looks like. I don't care about Beyonce. And this little boy dressing up, how many people over however long have been garnering all kinds of headdresses, colors, things like that at NFL sports games? What is the big deal? It's stupid. Black people are still in 2023 going into 2024. We are still concerned about white people and basically, castigating anything and everything they do and taking it personally. White people don't give a damn about you.
Yeah, and before we really get into Beyonce, I want to really just dig into this boy because his parents came out and pushed back against the backlash. So Shannon Holden, the boy's mother, according to the New York Post, wrote on Facebook, "This has nothing to do with the NFL. Also, CBS showed him multiple times, and this is the photo people chose to blast to create division.
Exactly.
He is Native American," she said.
Right, even if he wasn't.
Just stop already. Again, this Deadspin article used an image which only showed half of his face, painted black to substantiate him wearing blackface. T, I want to go to you on this. I mean, are you offended by him doing this?
No, first of all, he's at a game. How many times do we dress up? I mean, I go to a Dolphins game. I don't dress up as a Dolphin, but if I wanted to, then I could.
It's America.
I'm a fan. Well, not really a Dolphins fan, but I'm saying that's what people do when they go to games. Secondly, yeah, he is Native American. Third, who are these people? Deadspin.
Deadspin. It's
Deadspin.
actually
They're not even
it's a major. It's a
The
network
leftists.
they are leftists. They're
And it was a
backed by
black
leftists,
dude.
but it's a sports designated site. It's a
Right.
sports site that is backed by leftists.
Well, they need to stick to sports and don't worry about the
sure.
politics of it because you're completely wrong here. So whoever the black guy is, it's probably a token black guy. That's in the diversity, equity, inclusion of the backspin or whoever it is wants to decide to write an article about this little boy and leave him alone. He's a fan. And leave it at that.
I want to get your thoughts, Crystal. Why does the left use these types of tropes? They twist and turn this type of stuff to make it racial. I mean, why do they do this? Why would they do this to a little
Brown
boy?
skins, get ready. It's 2024 is coming up, so we're going to expect all the George Floyds and all the race stuff, because they got to get it
over
perfect
again.
for the
Every
election.
time.
I guess my question is if the boy had a gun and rapping like that little boy on the I think that would be okay.
Yeah.
Leave the children alone. I don't care if he was wearing it at a game. I don't care if he was wearing it at school. I don't care if he was walking through the hood. I don't care if he was walking on a reservation. This is America.
Yeah.
And you didn't buy his clothes. He can wear whatever he wants. And get the gun. Worry about them guns that your little kids is were like.
That was
having.
fine. Yeah. Well, I bet if he had on some women's underwear
Right.
and some lipstick, right, some platinum blonde hair, walking through the streets
Or
shaking
some
his little
Jordans.
ass. Oh, he would be applauded. Deadspin would
rainbow
probably
flag.
name him Woman of the Year.
I know.
Right.
It's just it's too much. It really is.
I don't even care that he's a child, even if he was an adult.
Yeah.
Like, still, he can wear what he
Whatever
wants to
he
wear.
wears.
Right, but it's just the idea of them just picking on this little boy who just
Right.
went to a game and
A
wanted
Chiefs
to,
game.
wanted to just enjoy his time and cheer on his favorite team, and that moves us to Beyonce. So while we have the left and leftist pundits poke at this young boy for what they are saying is wearing blackface, they falsified and made it up. Nobody's mentioning anything about Beyonce. So Beyonce had over the weekend, she debuted a brand new look that included icy blonde, nearly white hair, and her go-to silver wardrobe at the premiere of her movie Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. Now, again, we on the right don't really care what she wears. I mean, personally, I don't. And we don't care if she wants to wear blonde hair, green hair, whatever. But the left make a big deal about this cultural appropriation. So they feel like if a white person or a non-black person wears, so for instance, cornrows or some type of Afrocentric hairstyle,
they will have a fit.
They have a fit.
They will have a
They be getting
fit.
mad.
But we have Beyonce in a blonde wig. She's clearly lightened skin, And there's no talk about it. What are your thoughts on
because
this,
she's
Shelley?
the right color. She's now representing the black supremacy or the black supremacists of America. Again, I can do this because I'm black. It's still by race or by skin color, I should say. It's still asinine. It's still ludicrous. It's still racist. But because black people think that they are on the top of the pyramid or the pinnacle, that they can now manipulate and maneuver white people to make them feel bad. It's still black supremacy, white guilt, or whatever supremacy it is. It's still BS. I don't care what Beyonce wears or doesn't wear. I don't care what anyone wears or doesn't wear for that matter. I mean, I do care that you have dicks thinking they're chicks. But other than that, have at it. It's ridiculous. It's never ending. The race, you said, why did they do this? Or someone said that because it still works.
Yes.
That's why they harp on race or skin color, because it still works. It still works.
Yeah, what about you, T? I mean, you feel like are they being hypocrites?
Well, first of all, I don't agree that no one has said anything about Beyonce. They've said a lot.
Who?
Black people.
Oh,
Nice.
They've said that she's trying to be white and look white with the blonde hair and the skin lightening. So it's not really cultural appropriation. It's more like, I guess it is. Now she's trying to be white, but it's just a costume.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a costume.
And it's platinum hair, actually, because that's the whole theme of the Renaissance. Everybody was dressed up in their sparkly silver crap to go to her.
it wasn't a
concerts.
costume. It was.
That is
for her
costume.
performance. Yeah.
She's a celebrity. They
But it's
wear
not
costumes out.
she's not pretending to be someone else. That is Beyonce
It's
wearing
a
her
costume. What she has on, it's not
performance,
for
right.
her event. It's not her in her regular. She dressed up purposefully to be this, to go in theme with the silver and.
Right, but
Renaissance
even
and
so, I
platinum
mean,
hair.
even if it is and I don't know, I don't like the word costume because it's not her pretending to be someone else. She is there.
Costume isn't really pretending. It's what you have on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just what she
Just
wore.
like the
So,
trans people. It's what they have on. It's a costume. They
Oh,
want
I
to put
see
on
what
a
you-
dress, and
Right.
it's a costume.
Well, that's the
not
same
really.
thing. I mean, but it's no
white or
different
a
in
girl or
the
boy.
Kardashians when they go out to events. They've gone to red carpet
Yeah, a lot of
events.
people. A lot
They're
of people.
still-
They're
They're still
I see what you-
costumes.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that they thought it was Kylie Jenner. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like
she
she
clearly
really
looks
yeah.
like-
I mean, like
yeah.
she really looked like a Kardashian.
Yeah.
And you guys don't get mad at me because I'm a Beyonce. Like, I love Beyonce. I'm praying for Beyonce, and I'm praying God changes her heart.
For what? To do what?
God save Beyonce.
She is saved.
So, but this argument is still as old as time. Michael Jackson, same thing. Now he was bleaching his skin. He said he had vitiligo, and all these other skin problems. But the same
Yeah.
argument.
Lil'
there,
Kim.
there were other artists and entertainers. I think in the 60s, 50s. I think I wrote down 3 of them: Dorothy Dandridge, Josephine Baker, Tina Turner. They wore blonde hair and all kinds of styles for their performance, for their look, whatever. Who heck cares?
Well, here's where I would disagree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
Sister Girl she was Sister Soldier 2
Who?
years ago.
Who
Like,
talking
I mean,
talking about who? The Queen Bee?
y'all know who
name
y'all
is
were just
Beyonce.
talking about.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
You
can't say her name?
I'm talking about who y'all was just talking about.
Her name is Voodoo or something?
So she was Sister Soldier a couple years ago. You know, the afro and all of this. And so I'm really confused by the fact that
She's
Because
performing.
this is a picture. First of all, I'm sure she didn't look this color in person. She didn't bleach her
But
skin.
she's very.
but
But
they're
she's
all
very,
bleaching their skin.
She's a brown
and she's
girl.
very, very
That's what I'm
into
saying.
what goes out, her image.
Of course
she's very.
she is.
She looked at this, knew what it looked like, and she said, "Go ahead and put it
And
out."
look at us
It's a
talking about
costume.
it. That's exactly what she wanted.
Right. Well, whatever it is, I mean, we're
I think it's
comparing
cute,
it.
actually.
We're comparing.
She looks nice.
I think she looks nice, and I
don't really care. I don't believe in this whole cultural appropriation.
Right, me
thing.
either.
But the point of this is, and I
But Kim
think you
Kardashian
guys may
cannot
be
wear
missing
braids.
it. See, again.
Oh,
so yeah.
that's
What did
not
I
fair.
just say?
That's
Black
not
people
fair.
saying that-
No, it's
That's not
fair.
fair.
That's
did I
what I'm
just say?
trying to
Black people
say.
saying what white people can do
Right.
and not wear.
That's
Why
not
not?
fair.
I don't care.
Wear
White
your
people
braids,
braid your
Kim.
hair. It means nothing. If I saw a white person or whomever
I don't
with
care.
braided hair, actually I find it like like a source of infatuation, not infatuation.
It is.
Admiration, I should say. You know, when you emulate someone else's style or culture, that says that you've admired something about that
What do
style
you
or
mean
person.
style or culture?
But
Braids
Whatever,
actually were
I'm
in
just
Ireland.
using those
It's
words.
something
I'm
I
just
see what
using
you're
those
saying,
words. When you do that, you're just admiring something about that person, their style, their hair, whatever. It's normally a sign of admiration. That's it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, when white people do it, it makes it okay. So it's not just, oh, white people can wear whatever they want to wear. It's when they do it, it makes it okay. But when we wear our braids, I mean, it's kind of gone out of that now. But when we wear our braids, it looks tacky, or it's not business, it's not professional. It's ugly. But when white people do it, it's okay.
Well, sometimes
But
it's
I don't
ugly.
know. And I was about to say sometimes it's ugly, and I don't know where
Braids?
that came.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
what I'm saying is I don't know
Braids
where
are
that
ugly?
came from because
Sometimes
I
it's
really
style,
believe
you mean?
I really believe that black folks be making this stuff up. I have had braids at work for ages, and no
I have
white
too.
person
I've never
came
had
up
that
to me and
experience,
said,
Matter of fact,
"Sorry,
they
that
love
doesn't
it."
look professional."
Yeah, I
I think a
don't
lot of the stuff we just kind of like
No,
say to be
because
victim.
it's like I
right now.
said, it is a situation
Historically.
where some people wear these braids
And it looks ghetto.
tacky.
It
it's
does.
Not
Oh, the long
and
one's
it-
all the way
it's
down
not
to the
looking
ankle.
Or it
it's
looks
not-
ghetto.
Yeah.
right. It's not neatly done. Come on now. We have seen
I
braids, dreadlocks, all types
Agree.
of different hairstyles that black people wear, white people wear too, and they just are not kept
Not
straight. They're
that's
not
what we're
kept
talking
neatly
about, the
done.
ones that are unkept. We're not talking about those.
Well, I mean, either way. I mean, again, it's just a situation where, if Beyonce can go out here in a platinum blonde wig with
And a costume.
with I don't understand
As
what
a
you're
costume.
saying there. I don't know
She's
what
saying
you're
that that's what she's wearing
Yeah.
for
Or
the
her
show,
tour.
for
It's
the
in
performance.
theme.
I don't care if she was,
No,
if,
it's
even
not
if
a
she
theme.
wasn't,
It's not a
she's allowed to
masquerade.
wear
It's
it.
not a theme.
It is.
Like,
Like,
I think
anytime a celebrity goes out,
Everybody there were in a theme. They
Yeah,
wore
right.
they wore
And
that's her.
that
She's
is
the queen
her.
bee.
That is Beyonce wearing something to the party. Whether
Yes.
So
Right.
look,
So what-
look,
I don't know
I'm
what
a
you
celebrity
guys-
in my
what's
own
the
right.
point are you making?
And you know that I'm a celebrity in my own right. And you know that I host pool parties on Independence Day weekend.
Right.
So
You like
this is how I look whenever you see me.
Right.
But at my pool party that I was hosting, I brought it out.
Okay, that's fine.
And
I
so
don't
the
know
guy,
what that means, but okay.
But you didn't lighten
Sorry,
your
she-
skin.
right, that's
But
what
you
I'm
didn't
saying.
lighten your.
no,
I
I'm
hear
talking
what.
about the concept of costume.
Yeah.
When it's your
I
party,
know
you gotta
that,
step
but
it
she-
up.
You saying
whether
Did she darken her skin when she had the
Right,
afro?
I didn't brighten it either.
First of all, it's
That's
not
a picture.
It's not a. It's not. It was a theme party. So that means, for instance, if I had a party and I had like a theme of the flapping 20s or
Okay.
whatever, I'm still not going to go as a white woman in the flapping 20s.
AJ, you're not Beyonce.
You're missing it. I don't care what she wears.
Yeah.
I really don't. I thought she looked nice.
Yeah, she did. I thought she
You know, I thought she looked cute. But the issue here is
The
don't
double
have a
standard.
problem with her and not and have
yeah,
a problem
like I said,
with,
they have
with
a problem
Kim
with her,
Kardashian. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
That's-
do agree.
Right.
I mean, unless like while we're costuming, like when you had
Don't
the
be
afro. I mean when you had the afro, sis, you didn't try to be darker.
That was a
so why are
costume
you
too.
trying? Why are you trying to be lighter?
Right.
And we are the ones that made it an issue. White people did not make this an issue.
Right, that's
we
true.
don't like the skin lightening. We don't like the skin darkening. We don't like any of that. We made it an issue, and now Queen does it. And now we're trying to say, "Ooh, girl, you look nice."
Right.
Nah,
Yeah, that's
boo,
what I'm-
that don't fly.
No,
All right.
I don't agree that that's what was happening, but
All right. Well, we will continue to follow this story. Her mother came out and said,
Right.
something
Go ahead,
like-
Tina.
Yeah,
so
Tina,
why would her
no.
mother have to defend it if the black people were like, it's okay, it's fine? Obviously, there was
Yeah.
a problem with it because her mother had to defend it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, her mother did defend it, but it's still the idea where they were saying something about her lightening her skin. It wasn't wasn't saying it was cultural appropriation. So
It can't- well-
you have an idea where white people take on different ethnic costumes, as you say, or hairstyles or whatever. It's a big issue. When Beyonce does it, I didn't hear anybody saying, "Oh, she's cultural
The
appropriation."
black people didn't, but white people were saying it. That's why she said, even in the post, she said the racist people that are coming out again.
Yeah, people-
Black folks was like loving it. I
Right,
saw
that's
the
what I'm
comments. Black folks was like, "Ooh, you look beautiful."
Right,
oh my
right.
God. Like they were all over it.
So that was whiteface.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, again,
somebody said it was triggered.
I don't think it was really, but I am just saying that if it's blackface when white people do it, it should be whiteface this way.
Agreed.
You can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Agreed.
So
whatever face you want.
right, I don't care. Right,
I got a green face. Wait a minute.
I don't care either.
Period.
Yeah, honestly,
That
I feel
part.
like, you know, she always looked like she's in costume. To me.
Right.
She looks like a
She
fake
is.
woman. She doesn't look like a real woman.
Yeah, and her skin changes. Like
It's Illuminati
it's
in her.
Yeah,
up
I
and,
mean, she
yeah,
wears
up and down.
nothing's real on her.
She's
So,
a devil, so she has to look
Well,
like
that's why I'm
a
praying
plastic
for her.
figure.
all right.
It's the Illuminati.
All right, we will move on, but we will continue to follow that story. So moving right along to the counter view. So we are moving on to our counter view segment where we talk about or respond to the view.
It's hard.
You're cute and submissive.
It's hard. I am a man repellent. It's hard. Because all I do is go to gay events and drag shows and anything to make a buck, save a buck. Anything to make a buck. It's hard.
All right, there we are with our counter view segment where we respond to something crazy that the host of The View have said. So this here is Sunny Hostin, and she is talking about one of the hostages that was recently released this week. Take a look here. This is clip number, let me see here. This is.
And I think what's really important is what happens after this pause, because a ceasefire apparently is a bad word now. So what happens after this humanitarian pause? Who is in charge? Who isn't in charge? Are we going to continue seeing this devastation in Gaza? Are we going to continue seeing these 3 Palestinian kids going, college kids, one who knows my son's friend, okay? When is that going to stop? When are we going to really meet at the table and understand that all lives in this situation are being affected, and we must have a 2-state solution.
But can I say one
must
thing?
have that.
All right, so much to unpack there. Just to give you guys some background, she is, they had on at that same episode, they had on the family members of one of the hostages that were brought home this week. 9-year-old Emily Hand survived nearly 2 months in Hamas's grip by running house to house with her captors to escape bombings. She was one of the hostages that was freed this week, and her relatives were on the show just talking about her time in captivity. And so, as you guys can see, Sunny Hostin is basically trying to provide some equivalence between the hostages that were taken on October 7th with the Palestinian prisoners that were released and have been held by Israel. I want to start with you, Shelley. What are your thoughts on that, on her commentary on that?
Sunny's full of it.
Yes.
Sonny's full of it. First of all, there is no equivalency. When you take hostages, that's not taking prisoners of war, because there was no war for the prisoners to be taken, number one. Number two, the children who were ripped literally from their mothers, their homes in the whatever time period, taken and buried in tunnels, having to dodge bullets and bombs because their captors slaughtered their community, their family members. There's no equivalency. So Sunny, again, she's talking about with her fake accent in Gaza. Gaza. She's so, there's no equivalency. Is any child in any war situation being slaughtered, or I would say killed, whatever? Of course it's horrific. But when your captors are the ones who initiated the slaughter, how in the hell can you even say that there's equivalency? The same captors of this little girl and the other people who have been released are the same ones who took them and who slaughtered their families, and they're still hiding them out. They're the same ones who use these people for shields. What is she talking about? They are phony. Sunny Hostin and those women on The View, I think Anna was challenging her a little bit, but Sunny Hostin is full of crap. She's full of it. She's so phony. She's so wanting to be, my neutral zone, and everyone is okay, and everyone is the same. No, they're not. Terrorists are not the same as human beings. I don't even classify them as humans. They're not. And what they did to those innocent Israelis is beyond description. Okay, Sonny, you are full of it.
Yeah, I want.
Wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Yeah, so I want to get your thoughts on this, T. Again, as you guys saw, Sonny says, we're talking about this 9-year-old that was just brought out of captivity. And then she starts off with this all lives matter, talking about the Palestinian prisoners. What are your thoughts?
I mean, y'all know, I've said this before. Personally, when it comes to journalism, I want to see all sides. Mm-hmm. Yes, thanks for the tree in the background, producer. I want to hear and see all sides because I want to get the full story so that I can interpret or translate what I think happens or goes on. So in this case, I actually agree with her because I want to see the perspectives of everyone. Not just they tell us who they want, the perspective of who they want us to be.
What perspective
From the Palestinians and the Israelites.
So what do you agree with her about, though? That's what I don't understand.
Seeing the full perspective of both perspectives of the hostages, and y'all are calling them terrorists, but not all of them are terrorists. Just that.
What is your definition of a terrorist? I'm talking about the group Hamas.
Let God
Hamas.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But they're still the Palestinians that aren't the terrorists.
I'm talking about the Hamas people. Not even people, I should say, but Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Al Qaeda. Those are all terrorist groups.
That.
So what part is it that you need more clarity on?
What happened with the Palestinians? What is happening with the Palestinians? The fact that they're still in the conditions that they are in, and okay, yeah, we have hostages from Israel, but still, give me the full story.
I don't just understand what you're talking about.
Why do we continuously make Israel's responsibility as to what happens with the Gazans? We provided food for you. We provided water for you. Now we're not. You attacked us. So now we're not. And
it's not the first time.
Yeah, exactly. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, but what about the Palestinians? And what about... Let God sort out the ones who are not terrorists and the ones who are. And that's just how I feel. I don't believe with Sonny Hostin that there's a two-state solution at all. I'm not going to require...
Two-state solutions have been tried forever and a day.
And I'm not going to require Israel, in my own opinion, to live next to people who want to kill them. And I don't feel like they should have to keep taking care of them. I really think that we need to go ahead and just get rid of the Gaza Strip. I made that known. But you know what was funny? Speaking of Gaza Strip, watching that Sonny Hostin tiptoe through that landmine, because you know who writing her checks. You know them Jews is writing them checks. And so she could not say what she really wanted to say. So black folks, y'all not disappointed that Sister Soldier ain't out there fighting on the front line for you?
Right.
She chose her pocket. And that's what all them black liberals do.
Wait. First of all, let's go back.
She tiptoed.
We went through. I think we're making this too complicated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She literally said that she's comparing people who, like us, you're sitting in your home.
Right.
Kids, babies, infants, children got kidnapped, got murdered, got slaughtered. She's comparing these hostages,
right,
and she's saying that they have the same moral equivalence to Palestinian prisoners held by Israelis because they were terrorists, because they have attempted murder, things like that. I don't understand how you are trying. What is the equivalence there? She's saying, but what about them? How are they
humans?
I don't give a damn. Really? If somebody, let me read what this
says.
She's gonna break out the scriptures on us.
No, I hear what Tia say, but T has remained consistent. She's said this from
that.
No, because let's see how consistent you are if something like this happened to you. If we would,
I'm gonna go
Israel is the same size as New Jersey. This is like having a situation where was New York City invades terrorists from New York City went to New Jersey early in the morning and just started killing people while they slept, taking babies. Did you hear the same girl that they were talking about, Sonny's reckless comments, the same girl that was taken, the girl is going through so much trauma right now. She won't even speak hardly. She has to speak in very low tones because of the time she was with these nutbags in the Gaza.
Pieces of shit.
Not only that, they talk about another one. And just today, news came out that the 4-year-old brother, known as the Reds, it was a family. It was a 4-year-old brother killed along with the mom. These were the ones, according to the New York Post, the youngest Israeli hostage held by Hamas, 4-year-old brother and their mom, along with the patriarch, Yarden, were abducted from their home in the kibbutz, and on Tuesday, Israeli officials announced that Hamas had handed the family over to another Palestinian faction. So they're not even
releasing them.
Yeah, and I saw something that said the American hostages are not being released.
They released some, I think, a half Russian hostage. But they had, like you said, infants, literal infants, not even 1-year-old, 2-year-old children taken from their homes. There is no equivalence.
It's no equivalent. Did you see the faces of the Israeli prisoners that were released? None of this was happening to them. No. And they were doing stuff wrong and they were in jail. They just released. They look healthy. They look strong. You see these hostages coming back from Gaza, old ladies on their deathbed. You got now they talking about they traded out this family
for the prisoners that are trying to
another faction.
Israel.
You got an infant. Well, how are you comparing this? How is it even equivalent?
Y'all have chosen a side, right? And my thing is, to go back to your example for the New York and New Jersey, then somebody comes in from New Jersey. It doesn't matter who it was. If somebody comes to my house and try to get my children, kill my children, I don't care if it was the Israelis, the terrorists, I don't care who it is. Somebody's getting their blood. So
then why?
So my thing is, I don't care. Like, I want the full picture.
What is the full picture?
That's what I'm saying. I don't need the full picture. What do you think? I
don't know what the full picture is.
No. It's not even about the house. I think I'm thinking from a more like umbrella conversation or situation.
What, that all children are God's children, we all part of the rainbow.
You said let God do it, then let God handle the situation then.
Well,
he's not here right now to handle it.
No, I believe in choosing a side, and I'm always on the side of my allies and unfortunately for Palestinians, Jews share my Judeo-Christian values.
Right.
They are the only eyes in the Middle East that the U.S. has, and I'm an American. So I have chosen a side just based on that factor. Now, I understand what people like the idea of saying, oh, well, what about the other people that Israel had killed? But I don't like that, because if I kill you because you killed my child, and then you say, oh, well, that person you killed is a person. No, there is a certain thing called retaliation. And we have to be brave enough to say, I got exactly what I brought.
What's interesting is that this moral argument, this moral responsibility is placed on Israel, right? But it's interesting, they place these moral responsibilities on Israel, but yet they don't want to claim that Israel is a moral nation. So that's like, they play this trick. Well, if Israel is so moral, then they're not intentionally trying to kill you and wipe you off the face of the earth. You want to give them that responsibility to be moral, but yet you say that they're out to kill you. No, they're not. It doesn't work both ways. That's a little sleight of hand that the media does. Israel is a moral nation. Does that mean that Israel is perfect in their government?
Nobody's perfect.
That's not what we're saying. They're not intentionally going into Gaza or the West Bank or any other country, stealing, slaughtering women, men, children. They're not doing that. You're not going to find tunnels with hostages of children and disemboweled women being raped in Israel. You're not going to find that. that. If you do, please let us know.
And
like
they
T
would-
said, she gave the whole picture.
But they would have every right.
I would like to know.
What would
though.
Jesus
yeah,
do?
So what?
Why we bury them in the sea?
What would Jesus
put a millstone around their neck and drop them in the sea?
Jesus
And I
would do that?
Yes,
and
he
I
would.
think that that's the misconception, especially with a lot of y'all
We just
Christians.
talked about
I'm getting
that.
ready to come for y'all.
We just talked about that.
What would
When
Jesus
y'all
do?
clearly we haven't read the Torah, but in the Torah,
Oh,
like
now
God
you want to bring up the
instructed-
Torah
I
as a
will.
Christian.
Oh, I will.
As a Christian.
Oh, I will. God instructed
convenient
them
right now.
when they went into battle to kill every person.
That's God.
in
That's not
the
Jesus.
Camp, okay? It don't matter.
Okay,
and
but
he
Jesus
even
does
called
go to
out.
the millstone
He
on
even
the
called out women, and he called out children. That is biblical. So if you are an enemy, unfortunately, I feel like we are sitting up here acting like Israel has some kind of responsibility to these people.
But wait a
If
minute,
I was,
they
if I,
They are. They have been responsible towards them.
and that would have left.
No, I'm
on
saying that's what
October
they
7th.
have been doing. So they want to ignore all of the gestures, the responsibility, the morality that they have been, giving to the Palestinians and whomever else. But now all of a sudden they're not. They're the ones killing. No, it's twisted. It's evil. Hamas and all of these terrorists need to be wiped off
they
the
have
face
it on-
of the earth.
I
have
agree.
it on video. When I'm talking about this redhead family, they had it on video where the terrorists came and got them.
Yeah.
Now they have traded that family off to God knows who, and now they're trying to lie and say that Israel bombed one of the Israeli bombs killed the family.
And it should have.
This is the hostage.
I know.
It doesn't even make sense. Not only that, but I mean, they're putting out wrong information.
On
One of the
purpose.
hostages that came home was talking about how while they were in captivity, harsh, terrible conditions, but Hamas and the Palestinians are putting out letters saying that the hostages wrote these letters. Oh, my captor was so wonderful, and
That's called the Stockholm
This doesn't even
syndrome,
make
basically.
sense. It's
So why hasn't
terrible.
Israel retaliated? Then?
They have been. Right now, they're in this pause, or like Sunny Hostin said, this
She
pause.
said,
And
Pause.
Gaza.
Pause.
Yeah,
She wants to take the pause to a total stop.
Right, they want to ceasefire. They
No.
want a total ceasefire.
No.
And that's what. So they right now, while they are quote unquote exchanging hostages for prisoners that Israel has rightfully in prison, because these people were also trying to kill Israelis. So
There would be condos on the Gaza Strip. It would be some condos on that bad boy. Israel, y'all doing too much. It would be over.
But let me say this too, because one thing that we have to move on. We've talked about this on the show previously, how we're seeing here in America on campuses, people are doing all this anti-Semitism, and even what I would call self-hating Jews across America, across the world, are coming out against, for the Palestinians, and to me, it's a really sharp wake up call for a lot of these, Jews in general, who vote Democrat, because we're seeing that the alignment is with the far left, the Marxists. They're all for the Hamas. They're all for Palestinians and things like that. So my question is, and then you have this newer generation of Jewish people, of leftist Jews, that are also on the side of the Palestinians, of Hamas. And I think that is a real
a wake-up call for us.
Not just a wake-up call, but it's a lack of you all continuing the tradition within the Jewish community. Mm-hmm. You have dropped the ball on many of your traditions. So instead of you passing along with the significance of your family, your heritage, your prophetic heritage, you have chosen not to do that. You've chosen to be secular. And now you've raised a whole generation of Jewish people who hate Jews.
Well, that's and we
Welcome
did,
to
we
America.
did the same thing too.
What? We have.
with black people,
Right,
for the most
we
part.
have.
But I don't, because I don't understand why black people are even supporting Palestinians. They don't
Because
like you
because they're
they
darker.
literally. It's so stupid
that's how
because
black people
like
are.
every bodega in the hood, like every store, all these is owned by people that's from overseas, and they talk to you like crap. They treat you like crap. They don't like you, and you sitting up here talking about free Palestine. And you've never even been there?
No, but I mean,
They don't
again,
even know
we
where
have to
they're going
really
Exactly.
start.
Can't even find the Gaza Strip.
Right. We have to really start, people, as far as tradition, as far as raising up, you mentioned a couple episodes ago, raising up your child.
Yes.
These Jewish people have a long history, not only of the ethnic Jew, but of, your religion, and you're not passing it along to these younger generations, and then they hate themselves.
That's what happens when they come to America, because these generations, their children become Americanized, and then they forget their culture, or they reject their culture because they want to be Americans.
Right. And it's not even about being Americans. They have rejected their religion.
I know.
Their history.
They have rejected their religion.
Plenty of this first generation Americans who are from Afghanistan, from Jamaica, from all these places that reject their culture because they want to be Americans.
And not only that, I mean, but interestingly enough, Americans have not been doing a good job of that either. So they want to be Americans, but they want to be what America is today. We're still not passing on the legacy. I think conservatives are just starting to wake up and realize that we need to get back to the traditions, the foundations of our country, because we haven't done a good job of that either. Nevertheless, Hamas, Hezbollah, I hope you get blown off the face of the earth into little small confetti pieces.
But going to
Well, that's not
KJ's
gonna happen,
point, I
obviously.
mean, like I did hear, I've never been to Israel, but I heard them pride flags be flying real high.
Well,
over
not
there.
only that, but you find here. I mean, again, we have seen that these Marxist, socialist, leftist groups have all aligned, or mostly aligned, behind Palestine. Now you have Orthodox Jews who are, standing firm, and that's why, why? Because they continue to pass on the tradition, the not only ethnic tradition of Judaism, but the religious tradition. And we know that religion does push back against this leftist Marxist agenda. But you have a good amount of Jews within the United States that have decided to forego their religion.
Yeah.
They are not passing it on to their young children. They're not passing it on to the next generation, and you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You're paying for it. And so, send your kids to Hebrew school, get them around, other Jews and telling them the tradition and things like that, because then maybe they won't hate themselves, and that's just my 2 cents, please correct me. If I'm wrong, but I've just seen that, and I know we haven't really said it. But.
Well, Charlie Kirk tried to say the exact same thing, and they called him anti-Semitic. So.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to correct yourself for correcting.
Right. But anyway, so
What these people say.
we'll continue to move on. We have to move on, and then talking about protecting, your sovereignty and your borders and things like that. We're moving on to the NYC illegal immigration crisis. So this whole situation is maddening and it's upsetting, and we're not the only ones upset about it. Take a look at this. This is clip number 1.
This is up to us. This is up to each and every one of us to stand up. Nobody's coming here for us.
Right.
We're here for ourselves. If we don't get up and fight for our city, nobody's coming for us. They're coming to destroy it. The reason why they're here is to steal our votes.
Right.
We're not going to be able to live. They're stealing our votes, our kids' future, my birthright. Our United States, this great city that I refuse to leave. Do you understand? Nobody's coming for us. These elected officials aren't even elected. They're using absentee ballots. They're being selected.
And they're operating without. What did you think that AOC, when she came out, and other members of Congress, and they had this press conference, what did you think about their comments?
They will never be allowed to walk down the streets again.
Yes.
They have destroyed our city, and New York, especially Queens,
All
is
right,
woken
let's
up.
pull away from this. You see the anger among some on the streets.
But it's time. I mean, if any other time we might say he's going too far, but I mean, when you look at what's going on in New York City and the border, it is time for people to start standing up. Again, hundreds of migrants trying to get back into the Big Apple's overwhelmed shelter, according to the Washington Examiner. System have flooded an East Village block as Mayor Eric Adams warned the crisis would soon be more visible than ever. Shelley, I mean, is that man that we just saw going too far, or is he rightfully upset?
No, I think he's rightfully upset. And look, these people, I forget the mayor's name, in Brandon, somebody in Chicago, Adams and others, they are telling us what they are going to do. Gavin Newsom stood there a few weeks ago and said it was true that they cleaned the streets for a Chinese communist president. No qualms about it. They're telling us, when are we going to stand up? These people, these illegal immigrants are coming here to take over America, talking about the culture. And maybe I'm sounding like I'm a fanatic and I'm scared. No, I'm not scared in that sense, but I'm telling you, that's what they're coming for. What the hell do you think they're coming for? They're not coming to make nice. I think there are plenty of sleepers among them. Americans need to wake up, get in the faces of our politicians, whatever it takes, on the news media, that man, because they are coming for us. It's not just Israel they want to wipe off the map. They want to get rid of America, period. Crystal, that was your line.
It's true. I mean, to me,
Period.
I feel like the only thing that we can do right now, you guys, is vote in Trump. No, none of the politicians have talked about immediate deportation. Because at this point, like I said, closing the border, I mean, there's so many of them here. I mean, of course we want to close the border, but I mean...
Over 250,000 a month.
Exactly, a month. And do you know what that's going to do to our kids, our future? They talked about in New York City how instead of having one non-English speaking child in a class and a teacher, they literally have like 10 non-English speaking kids. And so the kids whose parents are paying taxes for these schools are getting nothing because the teacher has to sit and talk and figure out how to communicate with this. And so it is desperate times calls for desperate measures. There's only one person running for office that called for immediate deportation.
Immediately.
Yeah. Before we move on to you, T, I do want to recognize our super chatter here. Thank you so much, Noble Victory.
Thank you.
She says, you ladies are the best. Thank you.
We know.
Thank you for watching. Yes, we certainly appreciate it. So I want to get your thoughts on this, T. I mean, when you think about it, they will. How can we expect Biden to protect?
We don't.
I'm not only just here, but over in Israel, he won't protect their borders, their sovereignty, because he won't even protect us here.
Right.
So he wants open borders. He wants, he doesn't believe in protecting the citizens and
George Soros' open society, big time, exponentially. All these things are connected to me, at least in some way, that, again, one of us does not have time to sit down and connect all the dots. But there's enough information out there. This is not happenstance. It doesn't just happen. This is planned. It is planned on purpose. And we are the next on the agenda. When they get rid of Israel, they're coming for America.
Speaking of planned, so this all reminds me of a real story that happened in not even history. It wasn't even that long ago. There's a documentary called Wild Wild Country on Netflix. Okay. And it's about an Oregon cult that they started their own city somewhere in Oregon. And the people that were there in the small town, they didn't want them there. So what they did was brought homeless people from all over the country to vote. And this happened, and this is a real story. It's a documentary on Netflix. They brought in homeless people to vote for, because, it's all about the votes. They brought those people in they fed them, they gave them shelter, they gave them all these things. For free. Put them in orange or red or whatever the color was, because it was a cult. And they had them to vote the people in that they wanted in.
Yeah,
so it's the same. This happens, and it's happening, and it's proven to be a real strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we need to take this seriously.
Isn't there like isn't there a Bible verse that talks about free stuff, like something that's given to you easily or free is not always
everything free and good or something?
I thought it was something like that.
Bible,
I thought it was something, but when you think about it, right?
I don't know.
This is
Matt,
what
give
they're
us the
doing.
verse,
Not only
please.
that, but every time you
won't eat.
Every time you turn around, they're trying to push free stuff on people in order to get your votes or get your and thinking that you're beholden to them. That's what they're trying to do. And I hate to change the subject, but we were in kind of an online dispute with a huge Trump supporter, which back in 2020, what is her name?
Angela Stanton King.
Stanton King. She has now come out and said she is supporting RFK for president.
Oh, whatever.
And one thing she has been talking about over the last couple of weeks is reparations. She is upset with the Republicans because they have decided, I don't know if they've decided, but they haven't talked about reparations enough. And again, we have this situation where is this what we care about? I mean,
free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff. We know that when they do that, that makes you beholden to them, number one. And, what's going $1,000, $2,000? That's gone.
Exactly. And your dignity and your respect requires you. No one is going to feel good about anything if you continue to just give. And I think, like you said, it's strategic that way.
Yeah.
Because and people who have know this. I mean, they know this. So they're strategically giving it to you because then they're going to come back for that favor. And that's why I love Trump so much, because they kept talking about laughing at how, because he couldn't raise a lot of money. They were like, you don't have any money. You can't raise any money. And he specifically said, when I take that money, I owe them something, and I don't want that. And we don't understand that when somebody is giving you something, you need to ask yourself, what do they want in return? But that requires a certain level of
stage 2 thinking.
Exactly,
like
stage 2 thinking that honestly people like that don't have, and blacks don't have.
What can the government give when they don't make any money?
They don't make trinkets. They don't make hats.
They don't do anything.
They don't bake cookies.
What they give is other people's money.
Yes!
That's what they give, other people's money.
Right. And you I think it was T or Shelly mentioned about what they're trying to do as far as bringing in these people into the country. Well, this asylum program needs to be stopped. The State Department this week placed visa restrictions on charter flight companies that have been flying people from Haiti to Nicaragua to get them started on their journey to illegally cross the U.S. border. So Nicaragua doesn't require them to get visas. This comes after Haiti banned such flights, but Haitians are still taking them from neighboring countries. So this is an attempt by the leftist Ortega government in Nicaragua to weaponize migration, accelerating the flow of illegal aliens to the U.S. as blackmail leverage to try to get us to loosen sanctions. This is what they're doing. They're coming on. Yeah, they're catching on to this stuff and they're using it.
If any one of us didn't pay our taxes, just, flagrantly didn't pay our taxes, right? Not, you didn't put in a late notice or whatever. In enough time, the IRS, with its thousands of weapons, right, would come knocking on our doors in the middle of the night, scaring our families, banging our doors in, taking us in and embarrassing in our neighborhood or whatever. There would be no recourse virtually. But yet you're telling me these jokers can't stop a plane flying people illegally to our country? No, that's bullshit.
You know what?
That's bullshit. This is on purpose. Yeah. They are trying to take over our country. And again, I'm going to say it again. I know that may sound like I'm a fanatic or a conspiracy theorist, but you don't have to have a conspiracy theorist. You can read and see what's going on and make your own thoughts.
Man, about this. When is the next charter plane or bus going to New York or wherever? I'm going to join them, because if I don't have to pay bills, I can eat good, got a shelter. Me and my kids, where y'all at?
Yeah,
Jose and Mariella, where y'all at? Let me join y'all. But matter of fact, I don't want to be on the bus. I want to be on a charter plane.
Yeah, but
the conditions honestly, they said is crazy.
I was about to say the condition, how they live. I mean, like, you can't take people from these third world countries and then put them in places like New York City, and they don't understand the culture, because what they'll do is they'll bring their culture,
which is what they do,
to where,
absolutely.
which is what
Absolutely.
they're doing, and it's so sad. I feel really sad for them because they have been promised a better life, but then I saw something where an immigrant was like literally crying and saying it's not as easy as I thought, and it's not what they told me, because everybody knows, every American knows that when the government promised you something, please don't cash that check, baby.
Again.
It's gonna bounce.
Again.
So they are getting a hard lesson. But in the meantime, the scariest part for me is that they are changing the DNA of our society.
Absolutely.
And they're changing the culture. They're changing how we talk. American values are you may feel however you want to about America, but there's something beautiful about us. Like when we go over to other countries, they say we're nice and we're kind, and we really.
They might not say
no. Yes, they do. Yes,
No, they don't.
They say,
hold on. They might say we're generous as far as spending money.
No.
But they don't
We
say
are
we're nice.
Where is she going to say that?
Y'all, I'm telling you.
Where?
Well, whatever you say,
it's true.
Whatever you say, compare it to this. This is clip number 2. Compare it to these people coming over.
There's a bunch of immigrants coming through my property. I do not condone this. I've asked the Border Patrol to stop it. I just have to allow them to go through my property. Where are you from?
This is video shot by Brian Silvas, whose property is up against the U.S.-Mexico border in eastern San Diego County, California. He bought the land 2 years ago, but in the last 6 months, he's been dealing with a surge of people passing through his backyard.
Follow the road that way, all the way. Look for the lights. You'll see the light.
That's the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Above ground. Above ground.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, we can laugh at it, but this
it's serious.
It is serious. It is serious.
We're coming to Baltimore.
Oh, we're gonna be overrun. And I hate to keep going back to it, but I just think about what happened in Israel. You know, you're sitting in your house. This man is sitting in his house.
Yep.
Now these people, at least they didn't seem like they want to kill him, but that could easily happen.
Yeah,
that could easily happen
and has happened.
Your border is being overrun by people who don't have any type of they just want what they want.
Right.
They're not there to follow any rules or laws. They feel like their lifestyle, their existence is much more important, matters more than your existence. And you have something they want, and they're going to take it by any means necessary. Yep. And you compare this to the idea that these leftists, these Democrats, want to restrict our gun rights when our country is being overrun by illegal immigrants. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think I think that we as a people have to know that this is beyond us. We need a leader that is going to fix this problem. I mean, like, we have to have immediate deportation.
Oh, I agree.
And we have to have the act where I don't care if you had your baby on top of American flag in DC.
I agree.
If your mama and your daddy
birthright stops.
If your mama and your daddy came from wherever, you're going right back.
Which is what many other countries do.
And it should be.
Which is what many other countries do.
That's why I say, you guys, I know we're not perfect. But overall, Americans are pretty nice. We want to try. We always trying. We always trying to help. We always trying to do this. And this is where the buck stops. Black folks and poor people are the only people that are going to be.
Chicago's getting is understanding. Well, I don't know if they're understanding. I know they're complaining about it because the social services and the free stuff is getting eaten up by these illegals.
Right, they getting all the hotel rooms and food stamps. They getting domiciles created and built for them, and you have taxpayers, American citizens, in our faces.
How do they fill out the form though? I'm telling you, the people that can fill out that food stamp form is the smartest people on the planet.
They have representatives.
I don't even know if you need a form to fill out anymore.
No, they have representatives that they can your taxpayers pay for to go and help them to fill these things out.
That form is gangster.
Yeah, but these people, they don't care. I mean, and then that's what you mentioned, the leftists and these Democrats, they say, oh, we care about these people and they're being displaced because of climate change and we care.
No, they're not.
And we care about the Palestinians. They didn't care about those when she came over here and they skinned and grinned for him while he commits genocide on the Muslims in China.
And
the Uyghurs, what are they?
The Uyghurs.
Uyghurs. Yeah, the Uyghurs.
They didn't care when they went on, when the illegals came to Martha's Vineyard, then they deported the illegals. The illegals didn't even get to stay there for 24 hours.
They moved them out.
And got deported right on back to Chicago.
Moved them out.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just they want the votes. They want the votes. They want to take. They want
because they know that they're losing.
Yeah,
they're losing
that's what they're doing.
Their grasp.
So we do. We will continue to follow that. I'm good for that man that we posted in the beginning of this segment for standing up, and and that's what we need. We need radical to people like that to stand up and speak out against this. This is why we do what we do here. So as I always say, share this broadcast. Subscribe. This is how you support and get the word out with programs like ours. You subscribe, you share, and you support us. Because
and
that's
donate.
The only way, right?
Please,
please
donate because we are a necessary voice. You can reach us at poppinpoliticslive.com.
Right, absolutely. All right, so
thank you.
We are moving right along to. We're going to get to something a little lighter, but kind of heavy. So take a look at this video. It's a group of feminists, and they have decided to blame promiscuity on slavery. Take a look.
Blacks. Our bodies for so long were used for profit, for chattel slavery, for all of those things. Our sexuality for so long didn't belong to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big portion of why we're seeing this extreme in spectrum. And that's the point. It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And it should be allowed that we're able to express it no matter which side of the spectrum that we're on. That is, to me, what sexual liberation and liberation for Black women in terms of sex should look like, in terms of as modest as you want to be or as out there as you want to be. And you can't make a value judgment on the woman and call her a whore however she chooses to express her sexuality. Even if that's what you think that is, who are you to make that value judgment?
Girl,
bye. Yep, here we are again, advocating for whores.
Oh, Donna, we got enough.
Before we get to...
Oh, we do have a super chatter here.
Thank you, Donna.
Hey, Donna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But yeah, so you guys saw that. Again, this goes back to what I said at the top of the show. We have a society that is has no religion, no what did you say? Husband. They have, but we haven't seen it.
But don't blame it on slavery.
Right. And we haven't seen it mainstream. We certainly haven't seen it. There's no shame. There used to be. Now, whore is not even a bad word. Now you're not supposed to call somebody that. It's mainstream. It's supposed to be regular and common to do this, to do this type of sleep with everybody. I want to get your thoughts on this. You agree with what they said, Shirley?
I say if she's getting paid for it, do it.
And how much do you think she should be paid?
Whatever she sets her price for. That's the free market.
I know.
That's the free market.
I know, but
I don't know.
What is she?
Whatever she's.
What
whatever
is somebody like that worth?
Whatever. I don't know. I don't sleep with her, so I wouldn't know what she's worth.
No, I know you don't. But you can look at a pair of tennis shoes, or if you go out.
But that's a different. I'll actually be buying the tennis shoes. I'm not buying her pussy.
I'm not asking you.
I'm not buying her pussy.
I'm not saying that.
But if she wants to sell herself, if she wants to get paid, she can set the rates for what.
Selling herself.
I'm just saying, if that's what she wants, she can set the rates. If that's what I say, get paid for it.
What I'm saying is, you're a smart person. You're business minded.
It has nothing to do with that. I'm not buying her.
It is a business.
I'm not buying her.
I'm not saying you you are. You don't have to. I can go to a mall or something. Just because I'm not buying, I can say what I think it should be.
But
worth,
I wouldn't even.
right?
I'm saying I wouldn't be looking at her. But if she has a market
I'm not
of
saying
people
you
who
are,
will be,
but what I'm saying is about.
I can't.
Think what do you think she's worth? What do you think should be so? What as you mentioned pussy? What's the cost? What's your pussy?
I haven't looked into the going rates for prostitutes yet.
The Kelly book. What's the Kelly book?
The KBB
Wait,
is higher when
Kelly
you
book for pussy.
The pink book. The pink book.
Yeah, I don't know the going rate.
I don't know the going rate.
People
but
that follow the show
she should be able to sell herself.
I'm
That's
just
what she wants.
asking because people that follow the show, Shelly has said this multiple times. She supports prostitution.
And T.
And T. Oh, I asked you, T. So I mean, people who have this is something that you support. It's a business that you support. What do you think? How much should somebody pay for somebody?
Well, considering inflation these days, and the market value for coochie has probably gone up.
It's gone up.
It's way past
Folks
minimum wage. They're not paying minimum wage. I'm telling you, and $40 is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, no.
It depends on your state, your cost of living.
Well, he's in Maryland. How much would you charge?
Multiple factors.
You know what? You know what?
There's
the next
different
time
levels.
I drive down certain streets and I see one of the prostitutes, I'm gonna ask them. What
Okay,
they charge.
I want to make a point here.
Oh my God!
A point here. It's not about. I'm trying to figure out. What do you guys believe the cost should be to
whatever she
prostitute
said?
yourself?
She's a grown woman. Whatever rate she sets.
It's a business,
But
correct?
she's not even talking about prostitution.
We didn't do it.
I know, but this is what she said. So I'm trying to understand. It's a business.
Well,
we are business-minded people.
I have
for instance, if I have a ice cream, if I'm advocating for an ice cream stand or whatever, I can say here in Baltimore City, if I had an ice cream stand or lemonade stand, or let's say I'm saying if I had what do you call it? Protein shakes. I would charge here in this area. I would charge about, depending on the protein shake, I would charge anywhere between $10 to $15.
I hear your question, and I hear you.
So
I think
you guys
we haven't done
multiple times.
Listen, we
because
haven't
this
done
is supposed to be right. So what is the cost?
We haven't done a market research and analysis for the price of prostitution in Maryland. Sorry,
we can make a book.
Give us a day or two, and we'll get back with that number.
I'm going to do that. I'm interested. I'm interested in knowing what I want to do that. So next show,
no more $20 inflation. Your number was $20.
So the next show, I want to know from Shelly and T how much they believe a woman should charge to have sexual
in Maryland.
intercourse. But in Maryland,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I personally believe it's the mileage, and that should
It's skills and talent.
that kind of
Just
goes
like an interview.
that goes against what she's saying. That goes against what she's saying because she's basically saying be sexually liberated and
this is different.
And do whatever you want. And it's like, sweetie, your value is going down, and I think we're not talking about the price of promiscuity.
No, we're not.
No,
I mean,
we weren't. But yeah.
Well, first of all,
they took it totally different.
Us, you started the conversation about prostitution.
No, she said as long as she pays for it.
Right,
as long as she gets paid for it.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
they weren't talking about that. They just talking about the idea
of slavery,
sexuality.
Yeah.
Sexuality.
Okay.
So for me, I have it in my notes. It doesn't make sense. Like what she said doesn't make sense because you're saying, blame slavery. But now that we're here, if I want to be liberal to be over sexualized and have sex with so many men, then let me do that. So I don't understand. Was it a bad thing then, and now it's a good thing? Like where are we here in this?
And I'm just saying, if she's going to do it today, don't blame it on slavery, but
just
get
do
paid
it.
for it. Right.
Yeah. And yes, it's a double standard because
it is.
They're saying, men, but stop comparing yourselves to men.
Right.
We're not the same. We'll never be
not
the same. Because I don't know if I had a man's piece, I'd probably be,
I think that women should,
please don't,
before marriage or before the guy wife her up, you should be required to tell your body count. Because if it don't matter, if it don't matter,
why?
It don't matter. It doesn't matter according to them.
Wait a minute.
According to them, it don't matter.
Why is it tacky? Because you guys
said it don't matter.
Would he tell his?
It's not their business.
It's not. Would he tell his?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even
I know
matter.
what you're saying. Are you saying both of them should tell?
I think women, because you're saying it don't matter, and you're saying be as sexually liberated as you can. So wear that big 4-0 right on your forehead and tell the man that's gonna wife you up that I had sex with 40 people and now I can no longer be satisfied. You wonder why all the problems that are happening in these marriages and the problems that are happening in these homes and happening with the divorce rate. The divorce rate is because the promiscuity, especially in the black community. No man can satisfy these girls.
Yes, they can.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you this.
So men can
Let me tell you, men, their piece goes out before women. Like, we can still have sex in our 60s, 70s. I mean, I don't want to think. Well, yeah, I do want to think about it because that's gonna come. But pause. Yeah. But men, after a while, their equipment doesn't work.
Right.
But we can still get it.
That's a different story. What I'm talking about is the promiscuity that's happening in these communities, and you done been with Jack, Joe, and Sam that done flipped you sideways, and you try to get with a godly man or got a man that values himself, and he's trying to have sex with you and please you after you done slept with 400 dudes. That is the problem.
Well, first of all, ain't nobody virgins. We not virgins.
Right. Nobody. I mean, you're right. Nobody's virgins. He's been women too.
The point is,
you just said that men and women are different. They are.
No, we do. I understand that. Different. But you all are only putting the onus on the woman.
Right.
Well, no, we're talking about women that said that the promiscuity.
And you said when you get married or whatever, wife you. But I'm saying you're only putting the onus on the woman. You are.
Women and men are different.
And I'm putting it on women because we were talking about the segment where she said women should be liberated.
Right.
And honestly, show me a woman that is happier because they've been sexually liberated. You cannot show me a woman. And we keep wondering why loneliness is happening and depression.
Do you think women go around with a big L on that? I'm sexually liberated. I'm satisfied or not? Do you? How do you know? How do you know what they? Come on. Look, not true, ma'am. Go back to that.
We do have a quick.
Go back to the other comment, please.
Wait,
hi, Krista. Oh, thank you, Krista.
Can you read it? Please, can you read it?
How can we get the spew to agree to have you ladies on so you can open cases and whoop ass on them?
No, we might end up fighting.
Can you go back to that previous comment?
Shelly might pull out her.
No, don't say it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look.
Not true, ma'am. Older men get it got
Period.
No, they do.
You're a lady,
right.
so you.
Yeah. Period.
You don't know.
But yeah, no, and we don't need to guess whether women are promiscuous. We see it literally every single day. It's thrown in our face. Literally, there's a song now that talks about it. Like, what's the rap song I was telling you? That is utterly disgusting. And talking about booty hole and how she wants to sleep with Joe Biden.
Disgusting. That is disgusting.
But you guys, that is the promiscuous culture that I'm talking about.
That is, yeah. I mean,
so
it is.
Like,
but I mean, to me, it's just like if you're gonna advocate or you're gonna support the idea of women, being promiscuous, then there is an effect, there is an impact of that. Yes. It's the culture that we have now. So we've gone from women saying they want to save yourselves for marriage, or you want to at least think about who you sleep with.
Of course.
It matters, who you sleep with. To as long as they're getting paid, then you can run trains.
I didn't say that's what all women need to do or should do. But I'm saying if that's what if that's how she's going to. I don't think prostitutes should be locked up off the street and put in jail. Let me put it that simple for you, okay? I don't think it needs to be regulated to that degree. That's what I mean when you say I advocate for, which I don't. I'm saying I don't think everything a woman in this case does with her body needs to have government intervention.
Right. Well, I wasn't talking about any type of government intervention, but again, we had talked about this a couple of shows ago. I do think that there are consequences to certain situations, certain lifestyles, and so I think it is in the interest of government to regulate.
I don't think they need to be regulating who a woman sleeps with.
Certain industries. I do think that is something we do need to regulate.
A woman should have enough knowledge and enough care for her body that is made in the image of God to regulate herself.
I would go for that. That's why I said I don't want the government involved in that.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, like we said, but it's bringing it back to our original video talking about this. I mean, to me, they just kind of went totally past the 50s and in the 40s. When they had these type. Oh, go ahead.
Wait,
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. We had a super chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but wait until she finishes the sentence first. She's the host. Let her do it.
No, go ahead, Shelly. What do we have, Shelly?
Again, she just Noble just jumped in and asked.
Thank you, Noble. Yeah, because he's
jumped out and jumped back in and told him.
Not the way you.
Thank you, Noble Victory. You ladies are the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noble.
Yes. All right.
Shelly's my big sister, everyone, so we can get along like this.
All right, we are moving right along then to the
I want to talk about the hoes again.
Slavery.
Hey,
you were saying something.
I don't know. I mean, it's just like I was kind of.
Slavery is responsible for everything that happened.
Yeah, I don't agree with that part. I don't agree with that part.
That's the thing that got me. Like, how you go from slavery to us being liberated to do whatever we want to do? Like, that was contradicting.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Yeah, well, and then he talked about the sexual revolution. So it was just like they skipped over an entire section of our existence, really. You know, because we had the sexual revolution, in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. But prior to that, you had, more traditional types of ideas of relationships, of sex. And then we went, and then hit the sexual revolution. And now we're here where, people are rapping about booty holes.
I know, and it's disgusting.
You think Pound Town is a really city? A real city? I wonder what kind of, who's the mayor of Pound Town?
Anyway, I don't know. My bad. Let's beat that drum later.
Hey, bongo.
All right, so we are moving right along to smash and grabs and youth violence. So we have seen a violence among children has soared across the country since 2020. A stark reversal of a decades-long decline in juvenile crime. In the U.S., homicides committed by juveniles acting alone rose 30% in 2020 from a year earlier, while those committed by multiple juveniles increased 66%. The number of killings committed by children under 14 was the highest in 2 decades, according to the most recent federal data. This is as of January 2023, so it could be even higher at this point. So why are we seeing this uptick in crime? I want to talk to you, Shelly. It's specifically in juvenile crime. Actually, before we move to Shelly, I want to play this clip.
Police say the majority of the suspects in last night's robberies were juveniles. It comes just 3 days after police say 4 teens went on the attack in Patterson Park, and a little over a month before lawmakers meet to discuss the current juvenile justice laws. Friday night in the Pigtown neighborhood, a familiar 911 call to Baltimore police.
It's going to be about 5 or 6 juveniles. They're going to be wearing masks.
An armed robbery. The suspects, juveniles.
One of them brandished a knife.
Yeah. So again, we have seen here in Baltimore, that was a news clip from here in Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore City. We've seen a spike in juvenile crime as well. And as I mentioned, it's pretty much all over the country in major cities since 2020. Shelly, what are your thoughts there? Why have we seen and what's the solution?
So I think I'm going to narrow it down to 4 Ps. Nope.
Sorry.
No parents, no police, means that there will be no purpose and no peace in the community. When you don't have those, you have juveniles who basically are, I'm going to call it like scavengers. They're almost, I hesitate to say this, but for descriptive purposes, they're almost feral. Yeah. And so when you don't have those, that's it. The juveniles are running, in a sense, running the city amok, and people are afraid. You have these juveniles attacking not just younger people or each other, they are attacking senior citizens. And we have created this. I'm saying we, as parents, as the adults, we collectively, not individually, we wanted no police and defund the police and police are pigs and things like that. Well, now we live in a pigsty, basically. That's what the community has become, a pigsty. And that's it.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, T. You know, again, we have seen this uptick in juvenile crime. You know, where do you think it stems from?
I mean, to piggyback off of what Shelley said, we're living in a lot of society where we're not even reprimanding nonviolent crimes. So they got the memo. They got the memo that they can do whatever they want and not get caught or not spend jail time. But to be honest, I blame slavery. Because we had to steal food or we would get beat up by the masses, and now we got to steal everything else.
You joking, but you serious?
Yes. We'll never know.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You joking.
Okay. Look at her face. Go ahead.
It's a play from the last subject.
Yeah, slavery is to blame for everything. No,
but it is chaos.
Yeah.
You talk about, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean,
about the idea of, you know, women sleeping around, chaos.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
with an indefinite.
Yes,
you know,
yeah, it all is.
Yeah, it all comes back. It all kind of.
well, it all comes back to one place. There's no dad.
Oh.
There's no dad. It's not parents. We have.
I say parents.
We
Yeah, I think
have
it
to
is.
put.
It takes two to make them.
Responsibility where it's due, and dads have forfeited their God-ordained responsibility, which is to create order, to be disciplinarians in the home, and they have literally given up that to wear a dress and to wear a wig. Or to be home changing baby diapers because somebody told you that it's okay for you to be home
50-50.
with the baby. And to
Well, the
see
mother's
our
not
society,
there. Somebody got to be there.
to see our society disintegrate, I blame men not understanding how important it is that they're there. And I said this before, I'll say it again. Kids will run amok, people will run amok, they will sit on the corner because there is no, this is for you, a plug for you, Shelley, there is no law-abiding man that said you're going to get off this corner with your feet or you're going to leave here in a body bag. But I will not subject my children to your abuse.
Right.
Let me jump in because maybe I didn't look at it as deeply as you all did, but I think to me, if you look at the numbers, so the rise in crime and youth violence and crime in general started in 2020. In 2020, most of these progressive George Soros prosecutors came into office. Yeah. I mean, when you look at Philadelphia, you had Larry Krasner, so he came in 2017. You had Chicago, Cook County, Kim Fox came in 2017. Here in Baltimore, Marilyn Mosby came in 2015. George Gascon in Los Angeles came in 2020. We've seen the rise in crime within many of these cities, and it has followed behind these progressive many George Soros prosecutors being elected in office, not prosecuting crime. Again, that trickled down to the police force being overrun. Police officers are leaving the force in droves. And now we have chaos in the streets, literally, where citizens are being overrun by crime.
Yep. That's it. You mentioned the Soros prosecutors, KJ, and most of the major cities are run by these people. They're run by Democrats, even if, let's say, the prosecutor, they have Democrat city council or whatever, county council, and they have allowed the juveniles. Do you hear these words about transparency and accountability? That's only for the people who will abide by the law, though. Because the juveniles have not been. And where are their parents? I know you're talking about the dads, and I agree with you there. But I'm just saying, parents in general. Parents today are afraid of their children. They really are. But they've created this. They have created this.
The mothers are too busy being whores.
And the mothers are too busy working. The mothers have prioritized social media. The mothers have prioritized their big homes and their good jobs and their degrees. And I'm so smart. I'm gonna go get a doctorate. You work at the DMV. Okay? You work as a teacher. You work as an elementary school teacher going to get my doctorate. And your kids is out here robbing people.
Those aren't the same kids.
Yes, they are. And it's so sad, and it's so sad to see a society that, like, and you talk about this, T, that don't know their roles. Like, don't know their roles and how important that your children just need you. And I know you're saying it's the prosecutors, but
it starts at home.
The prosecutors prosecute crime, but who you have to be doing a crime. You know what I'm saying? So where do what I'm saying is there's a step before prosecution, meaning like we need to stop them from doing.
Right.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because their money goes into.
You got me started.
Their money goes into LGBT and all those things, and they don't give the community where these guys or these juveniles are committing these crimes. They don't give them an outlet or anything else to do.
That's BS.
I
don't agree with that.
No. Even the schools, we talk about the
talk
schools
about
all the
outlets.
time.
No, the schools are horrible.
Right.
They have rec centers.
Yes.
They got here in Baltimore dirt bike parks, all the rec centers and the prime estate, these new centers, and they don't abide by the law. There's no one home. When you have 12, 8-year-old, 15-year-olds carjacking people, knocking seniors down over the head, causing all kinds of havoc across the city. This is not about an outlet. This is about, we need cages.
Exactly.
We need some cages. That's what we need. It's not an outlet. Lock their asses up.
And I hear black people all the time say, oh, well, there used to be stuff for the kids to do. Black folks need government programs like they need a hole in the head. You know what? You want a program? Bring back the military schools. You want a program? If you can't get your kid in order, then let the drill sergeant get them in order. But Maryland, I heard, got rid of that.
Well, you can't do that because the military is racist. The little boo-boos might get their feelings hurt.
The trophy kids.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I mean, even with these rec centers and things like that, they tear it up.
Yes, that's what I said. There's tons of programs. They need programs like they need a hole in their head.
Let me quote Peggy Harris. Rest in peace. Producers, I don't know if you had to blip this out, but Peggy Harris used to say, niggers will tear up everything. They don't want nothing. They think they're entitled to what you have, and they will take what you have and make you feel guilty because they ain't have it. Niggers will tear up. And she said they ain't got no home training. Thank you, Grandma Peggy. Rest in peace.
But they're doing that. I mean, they're doing that now, and they somehow feel like they're entitled. Like, I mean, you see it all the time. Like, we talked about it on the show. Like the cost to educate these schools in these poor schools versus the cost to educate it in say Fairfax County or Loudoun County is stark different. So they don't need more money.
No,
they don't
not.
need more programs. They need training.
Yeah.
Well, if they have the money, they're just not putting
It's not even the money though. Baltimore gets almost $20,000 per student a year. That's not just a one-time flat rate. That's a year. Baltimore does. It's not the money, and they have money. $30 million the school system does that they've been sitting on. Not to mention this Kerwin plan is coming to fore, which is going to be a huge ripoff. It's not the money. When we were growing up, and certainly when our grandparents were growing up, they had way less, but they had home training
and they had roles.
Exactly,
they had roles. And, we have gotten to a situation in our society where, women want to act like men and men want to act like women.
Yeah.
And I have to take it back to our last segment. Promiscuity is not feminine. It is not. Women going around here sleeping with as many men as they want and can is masculine. Right. It is a masculine trait.
You know what? Let me say something. I'm sorry about this feminine. No. This feminine and masculine thing. I don't even think. I'm not saying I'm tired of hearing those words because I don't think most people today know what they mean.
They don't.
Right. They don't know what they mean. So us saying that, we're just basically talking to the choir.
Well, you tell me what is feminine. What is femininity?
They don't.
What is
femininity? They just need basic training. They need basic training in behavior, manners. If you want to call it feminine and masculine, fine. But they don't care what feminine and masculine mean. They need training about living in a civil society. Now, and that starts at home. Whether it's a feminine woman or a masculine, there's no one home is what we say. I'm not disagreeing with you. And there's no one home.
And men need to start shaming these women. I mean, start shaming them. I don't like that. You're ugly. I don't want when you are promiscuous like that. I don't want that. I don't want you raising my kids.
Well,
I don't want a baby with you. I don't like that. I don't like how you act. When you're in the club like that, that's not attractive. That is not the type of person I want. And when men start saying, that's what I'm. No, when men start saying it and not salivating over this mess, you're gonna start to see women.
The real men, they say these things, but the women are like, how can you have preferences? What do you mean you have a preferences? How can you not accept me for who I am?
Well, you guys sound so contradictory. Because in the last segment, in the last segment, we just had a panel of women. We showed the video. Say that they feel like being whores should be totally acceptable. It should be no issue.
KJ. We're not advocating that. We're not advocating that women should go and do it. I said if a woman chooses to do that, I've said, and I don't know why this doesn't comprehend to you. I'm saying that the government should not regulate. That's all I'm talking about. That's the limit that I have.
The government. I'm not talking about anything to do with the government. I'm talking about the idea of women going around being promiscuous, sleeping with as many people as they want, men as they want, whores.
Okay.
So I'm talking about that. The idea of making that without shame, making that okay. That is why we have an issue now going on. It's not really the men that are having an issue. It's the women. The roles have reversed. The roles have reversed, and these women feel like they want to be men. It's a masculine trait,
and a lot of the men feel like they want to be women, like T just said. So I mean, all I'm saying is that yes, things are chaotic. If you want to say
chaos,
right? And the children are running the street.
There's no role.
I agree with there needs to be structure. I'm not disagreeing with that.
You are disagreeing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You just can't hold two contradictory thoughts and then they realize it's real life.
There are women.
How can you advocate for one thing in the last section, but
because
everyone isn't the same.
Right? It's not the same.
Not everyone is monolithic.
Exactly.
So we have the prostitutes. We just like in the Bible.
I'm not talking about prostitutes.
No. Let me finish.
I'm not talking.
You have your whores. You have your prostitutes. You have your wives. You have, different people, and everybody fits in society.
No, it's
the way
not.
they
Not
do.
now. See, this is what you guys are missing.
I'm not a whore.
You have mainstreamed. You have codified this as the structure. There is no shame. There is no stopping.
And I agree with KJ from the standpoint of it's what seems harmless. Like,
so wait, are you saying that all these juvenile? I'm sorry.
What seems harmless just starts to slowly desensitize us. Like, oh my God, we should be shocked, but we're not about the things that we should. And then that's how we got here. Okay. And that's the same thing that's happened with the pedophilia.
So are you saying that every juvenile who's committing crimes, their mother's a whore?
No. I'm saying that
It is. I'm
sure we could probably find a correlation.
But they're not the ones with doctorates either.
Yeah, but because there's I see. No, let me tell you something. They talk about Maryland has one of the richest counties in this area, and the crime is horrible. Yep. So it doesn't matter. It's black folks. It's culture. It don't matter if they're educated, and it don't matter if they have money. It don't matter if they're poor.
That's
they're
what
all doing the same thing.
Culture is promiscuity. The culture is poor. The culture is crime. The culture is it's all that.
No one is home teaching them. There's no one home period teaching them. Man, mother, father, whatever. They are running amok. There's no one home, and not only that, I don't see too many conservative women giving up their jobs outside the house to stay home. I see them working outside the home too.
Period.
So don't even go there. It's not all. It's not just
conservative. Don't mean you.
It's not just poor. It's a lack of home training.
And the issue is not working outside of the home and then working inside the home. The issue is prioritizing your job. And when your job tells you you cannot do this for your school system and you cannot do this for your child, you need to say peace out. Because my most important thing is them pick me that I have to raise. Period. That's what we're not getting. It's not the job. It's the priority.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
I didn't know you were Jamaican.
Yeah, I'm Trinidadian, but
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
them picnic.
The youth them.
The youth them.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, it's a great
Speaking
conversation.
of the youth them.
Great conversation. You guys, please continue the comments. What do you think? We brought up some really good concepts tonight. Talking about what do you think is the reason why we have the uptick in juvenile justice?
And I don't know, is it just the coloreds or is it?
Yeah.
Is it the?
We take the cake. It's the brown skin.
Yeah, because most of it is
in the urban area. Yeah.
It's us, y'all. Come
The black
on,
and
just
brown
admit it.
people.
It gotta be the white people.
black and brown people.
It's so many white people in America.
Well,
I'm sure they're doing it too.
statistically speaking, people generally commit the crimes in the communities that they're in. So white people, you would expect white people commit more crimes against white people. But black people, we are, getting rid of, we're just taking us out off the books. We are wiping ourselves out.
Not only that, but based on our percentage in the population, we're definitely more, committing more of these acts based
even
on
then,
our
white people
percentage.
commit more as a percentage more than white people.
Oh.
Even though they're the largest group.
There's a poverty correlation too.
Oh, that's part of the culture. Yes, I agree with that part.
Right, but again, and I hate to keep beating this horse, but
it ain't the prostitutes.
When you think of, I'm not you brought the prostitutes. I am talking about the idea of when you have promiscuity, then you have again you talk about getting bodies before marriage. Marriage is what creates wealth.
Yes.
And so when you talk about this promiscuity, that goes unchecked. You're not getting married. So you're not creating generational wealth for your kids. So you then have two separate households. That puts not a wedge, but it makes it hard to take care of two separate households. So you got an economic problem. Then the education. It all starts and ends at the same place.
At the home.
This is what I'm saying. And so, we can't say one thing on one end and expect for the other thing to correct itself. It's not going to work that way.
There's no perfect societies.
No,
it's never been a perfect society. Because you're going to still have your prostitutes, and you're still going to have your whores, and you're still going to have your wives.
Right.
But you don't
the
normalize.
balance is off.
Yeah, you don't.
You do understand the balance is off, and you guys advocating for it is not helping.
What do you mean the balance is off? What do you mean? You said the balance is off. What are you talking about?
The balance is off is what I'm saying is we don't have enough wives.
Yeah, we're making it the norm.
We don't have the norm to be a slut. We got more singles than wives, baby.
But that don't mean
we
all
don't
singles are
have
prostitutes.
enough. We don't have enough. It is.
No, it does mean
because
that.
it's a direct correlation.
All the single people are whores.
Men don't marry many
All
whores.
the single people are whores, KJ. Come on.
Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. That's what they say.
I'm not saying that. Again,
Again,
you guys gotta understand. There's not a lot of men don't marry whores,
and the ones
these prostitutes are not getting wedded.
Well, the men who try are very unhappy. It is very hard for men to compete with 40 other men that spin inside of you.
Look, I'm from Florida.
It's true. It's true, and we need to talk about it. It's true.
There's a song, Splat Pack, one time for my Florida people. Splat Pack, what's up, head? What's up, Q? They had a song said, "Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Some of these bitches out here strive."
You know,
facts though. Like I know about the name.
So I don't know that song.
Oh yeah, but it's facts. I mean, even if you try to turn a hoe into that's what I'm saying. Like the hoe and the housewife are two different things.
And they exist at the same time.
Okay.
And they exist at the same time.
They exist at the same time in the same world.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
What y'all think is a person? What's your sleep number, KJ?
No, moving right along.
Don't tell
moving
me
right along.
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Moving right along.
It depends.
Well, I'm saved and all my sins has been forgiven, so mine is one.
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
What she said?
I mean, that is what it is.
It's all about sins. We can go sin tomorrow. He gonna forgive them tomorrow.
It's fine. It is.
Don't trust a big butt in the smile. Hey, poison.
What's it? Bell Biv DeVout. What is it? Have I been drinking? Bell Biv and DeVoe. I can't get it out.
Now you know what.
All right.
Oh, it's a Florida song, Angie.
It's driving me out of.
All right, Bell Biv.
You know what's funny though for me though? All of these traditional conservative women, they know a lot more ghetto and slang and stuff than I do. they just know. You know, I be acting like
I've never had sex before. Right, how could you ever?
I'm just saying.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Jesus, oh my God.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying, I've lived a life.
Hey, KJ. Speaking of you, KJ.
I'm trying to say, people are perfect, but I'm just saying that I do see the writing is on the wall, and I can look at certain things and see, okay, this is happening here. This is how we got to this place. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't add up.
You said I can do bad by myself.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and we just tell each other to get rid of your mistakes by having an abortion.
See, that's another thing. That's
we talked about
thing.
that, and that's not. We didn't say that. Don't say. But we have not said that. No, I'm just talking because KJ is gonna go there next.
I mean, it is. I mean, when you
KJ,
talk
we
about,
don't deny that there are consequences.
Okay, so I mean,
but even though there are consequences, everything does not, for me at least, does not need to be regulated. Or that's all I've been saying.
You the one keep.
So I'm not denying that there are consequences.
This always happens when we talk about prostitution for some reason. Like, let it be. It's religion, politics.
They would get the impression that Tia and I are out there on the corner.
You already know how we feel about it, KJ.
I did not bring it up. Shelly brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
Okay, we at the end of the show now.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, we got one more thing.
Oh, we not?
We do have to go because we have our overtime. So. We do have to go. We did have one more topic, but we're going to cut it short tonight, just due to the time. So again, thank you so much for watching. Again, we talk about different topics all throughout the night. We do have different topics we talk about. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I just want to put it to you guys. Any final thoughts from you, Crystal, for the audience? Any last words or last you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, just love yourself enough. Men, love yourself enough. Be confident in your role in society. We need you in Trump 2024.
All right. T.
I just think that we have to prioritize. If it's not like we never got to the situation about the K-12, but if it's not gender equality these days, then every other thing goes out of the book. Is what's the saying? So we have to make sure that we prioritize. We need to start documenting for our future generations, documenting our morals, our values, our principles for our children and our grandchildren, and let them know that, hey, we tried to fight for y'all. I'm sorry, whatever is going on in 3 generations, but Grandma T tried to fight for you, sis. Yeah. We tried.
Yeah. All right, Shelly.
Wow. We talked about a lot tonight. We did. I just want to kind of close up with the last segment in particular. Again, when we don't have parents, your number one goal and role, I guess, is to parent properly. Again, within your value system, and I'm talking about good values, right? I'm not talking about a particular religion, but within good values, because we all have to live here. You should not be afraid of your children. Those Negroes get 3 hots in a cot every day. You gave birth to them. They're dependents. No child of yours should be running your house. People talk about this child-centered home. I've gotten away from that. I don't say a child-centered home because when you come into a home, the children should not be evident that the children are just tearing up the damn house. They don't pay bills. They're just dependents, okay? They are, they don't do anything. We love them. Yes, they contribute emotional stability, if you will. But other than that, you need to parent properly. One of the best words your children can get used to hearing is no. No. Just it. No. They need to learn how to digest that and process it and just get used to it. So let the little freaks go upstairs and pout and throw tantrums, whatever. But you're the parent. We have a society that I'm going to say we need to save. We certainly need to get it better and get it back on track with the prostitutes and with the wives, all in the same time.
That don't even make sense. All right.
They're going to be in the same society.
we get you. Shelley just said get prostitutes on track. How do you get a prostitute on
I'm
track?
saying
Shelley?
get our society back on track.
I know.
Understanding that there will be prostitutes. That there will be prostitutes.
How do you get a prostitute on track?
By donating to poppinpoliticslive.com.
All right.
Donate.
I can't.
That's what I meant. They ain't going nowhere.
So it sounds like to me you would have you, or do you also agree to
Here we go.
give out the crack pipes and things like that?
Here we go.
The drug and
Here
the
we
needle.
go.
That's what it is. They're gonna be there too. So should we give them crack pipes and needles?
Well, I mean,
Are you done?
This does bring us to the end of our show. Again, as you can see, we are opinionated. So thank you so much for watching.
We have to be, though.
Exactly. Yes, we do. And that's enough. That's what I was going to end with. You know, stand up for what you believe in. Stand on truth. And this is definitely what we need right now. Stand on truth and speak out and speak up about it. So again, continue the conversation by checking us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and subscribe. That way you get up-to-the-minute content when we post, and we appreciate the support. We are an independent media, and each time you subscribe, it does make our voice that much stronger. You can also check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you can listen if you can't always catch us on the screen. Again, check us out on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, count your blessings and live a life of purpose.
And
Good
donate.
night.
Gobble, gobble.
Donate.